I am Alexander Hamilton, born on a small island in the Caribbean, where the sun shines brightly but so does misery. My childhood was marked by hardship. Orphaned at a young age, I witnessed the struggles of those around me, the relentless pursuit of survival amid despair. Each morning, I would see the same faces in the streets, people laboring tirelessly, yet scarcely able to afford the most basic of necessities. These experiences ignited a fire within me, a desire to rise above my circumstances and seek a destiny worthy of my aspirations. Freedom was always my guiding star, though the path was often obscured by thorns. Upon arriving in America, I encountered a new world, a canvas where the dream of liberty and justice could flourish. Revolution was in the air, and I became swept up in the fervor that enveloped the colonies. I recall the passion in the voices of the leaders I met, their determination and their belief that change was not only necessary but inevitable. It was a thrilling time, filled with the electric charge of hope. I remember standing among them, my heart racing as I listened to the debates on the future of our fledgling nation. Each discussion was not merely an exchange of ideas. It was a profound examination of what it meant to be free, to belong to a nation that aspired to something greater than mere existence. The Constitutional Convention of 1787 stands as a defining moment in my journey. I found myself in a room filled with remarkable minds, each bringing their perspectives to the table. I watched as fervent debates unfolded, each voice a reflection of the diverse tapestry of opinions that made up our society. Some called for a system that gave direct voice to the masses, while others recognized the need for a stronger, more structured government. I was among those who believed that a robust government could protect our liberties and provide stability. My conviction was that the foundations of reason must prevail over uncertainty, and I became a fierce advocate for a system that balanced the power of the state with the rights of individuals. During those heated discussions, I understood that the future of our nation hinged on our ability to find common ground amid our differences. I often reflected on my own past, on the lessons learned from my struggles, and I sought to impart that wisdom to my fellow delegates. I spoke of the importance of unity and purpose, of understanding that our shared goal was to create a society where each individual's voice mattered. The Federalist Papers flowed from my pen like a river, aiming to bridge the chasm of division and promote the Constitution as a living document, one that could adapt and grow with our nation. The establishment of the National Bank was another critical chapter in my story. I recall the resistance I faced when I proposed it, a solution that, to me, was essential for our fledgling economy. Many viewed it as a threat to the autonomy of the states, a concentration of power in the hands of a few. Yet, I stood firm, believing that a solid financial system would lay the groundwork for growth and stability. The debates surrounding the bank were heated, and I remember the faces of my colleagues as they grappled with the implications of my vision. In those moments of tension, I learned the value of perseverance and conviction. Each criticism became a stepping stone, and with each challenge, my resolve deepened. My journey was not merely about political structures. It was profoundly personal. There were nights when I sat alone, the weight of history pressing down upon me. I reflected on the lives of those I had encountered, the sacrifices made for the ideals we held dear. I thought of my mother, whose strength and determination had shaped my character. I carried her lessons with me, the belief that no obstacle was insurmountable if one approached it with tenacity and courage. Each success was not just mine. It belonged to every person who had ever dared to dream of a better life. I understood that I was merely a vessel, carrying the hopes and aspirations of countless others. As I navigated the complexities of political life, I remained keenly aware of the dangers of partisanship. The divide between Federalists and anti-Federalists grew wider, reflecting the broader tensions within our society. I watched as emotions often overshadowed reason, and I feared that our union was more fragile than we realized. I became acutely aware that politics was not merely a game of power. It was a reflection of the human experience, filled with passion, fear, and desire. The struggle for our national identity was not just about policies. It was about the values we upheld and the principles we defended. Reflecting on my own experiences, I saw how our debates mirrored my internal conflicts. I had come from nothing, yet here I was, an architect of a nation. Each moment of triumph was tinged with the knowledge that my rise was an anomaly, not the norm. I often felt the weight of responsibility. My actions would not only shape my destiny but the future of generations yet to come. How could I ensure that the principles of freedom and equality were preserved? How could I navigate a world fraught with division and strife? These questions haunted me, yet they also drove me forward. My vision for America was rooted in the belief that knowledge and reason should guide our decisions. I remember the moments when I stood before my fellow citizens, advocating for education as a cornerstone of our democracy. I understood that an informed populace was our best defense against tyranny. The fight for a common understanding was paramount, for it was knowledge that would empower us to shape our destinies. It was through education that we could bridge the divides that threatened to tear us apart. My life became a testament to this conviction, a reflection of my belief in the transformative power of learning. In my final reflections, I often contemplated the journey that had brought me to this point. Every battle fought, every word penned, had been part of a larger narrative. I understood that my life was not merely about personal ambition. It was a chapter in the story of a nation striving for greatness. As I looked back, I marveled at the resilience of the human spirit. We had endured so much: wars, debates, and the ever-present specter of division. Yet, through it all, we had remained committed to our ideals. The legacy of my life is not found in the halls of power or in the accolades bestowed upon me. Instead, it resides in the hearts of those who dare to dream. The struggles I faced were not mine alone. They were shared by every individual who fought for their place in this grand tapestry we call America. My hope is that future generations will continue to seek the truth, to strive for understanding amid their differences, and to remember that our strength lies in our unity. So, as I reflect on a life dedicated to the ideal of freedom, I hope that my story serves as a reminder that the true measure of a nation lies in its ability to learn, adapt, and grow. I may no longer walk this earth, but the echoes of my journey continue to resonate. I urge those who follow to embrace their roles as guardians of liberty, to cherish the ideals for which we fought, and to carry the torch of hope forward into the unknown future.